In this video, I will be telling you the top 5 most essential PvP tips that you need to be using right now. If you aren't using them yet, I recommend making sure you will use them so that you don't fall behind the PvP meta. Anyways, if all the things I mentioned in this video are already being done by you, it means you are probably quite good at the game. So the first essential key part of PvP is knowing how to combo. What is a combo? Basically, it is a combination of moves that you land on your enemy to deal a burst of damage. Also, for it to be a real combo, it needs to contain moves that will give your enemy a hard time escaping. If you do not know how to combo, you will not get very far in this game's PvP, especially since if you don't deal enough damage at one point, your opponent will just heal back all their HP by running around. To see if you know how to combo or not, first, try to identify combo starters, combo extenders, and combo enders. Another example, if you rely on YouTube videos for combos, you will not get very far since it needs to start coming from you, and it probably means you don't really know how to combo. So be creative, but I'm not telling you that finding inspiration in YouTube videos is bad. Now let's define what combo starters, extenders, and enders are. Firstly, we have combo starters. They are skills that can be used to begin combos, aka start a combo. Most of these skills are very easy to land. Secondly, combo extenders. They are skills that can be used to continue a combo, aka extend a combo, aka chain a combo. Most of these skills have a decent stun. Thirdly, combo enders. They are skills that can be used to finish a combo, aka end a combo. These skills can be pretty much anything. For example, they can be stuns, knockbacks, silences, etc. And now that you know about combos, let's move on to the second tip. Now, the second key element to PvP is to know how to move correctly, because moving is one of the most important things you must do to not get killed. Let me give you a few examples of bad ways people move. First of all, some people like to charge directly at their opponent to attack and be offensive. If you do not have a damage reduction build, I think this is very risky for you because they could easily counterattack you and end you off with an insane one-shot combo. Instead of doing this, you should go towards your opponent while being careful. Basically, just dash sideways from time to time while going towards your opponent. If you see them use a skill, try to avoid it with flash step, a movement skill, or even your normal dash if it's a small skill they're throwing at you. Second of all, some people portal camp. Now, I'm not telling you guys not to do this because I'm tired of portal campers, but on the contrary, I'm happy when people portal camp. But why? Well, it just makes things easier for me. All you have to do if a person portal camps is use big AoE stun skills like Soul Guitar X move for them to be stuck in a cornered area, not being able to do anything. Once they are stuck, it is the perfect time to end them off. Third of all, some people run on the ground. If you're gonna run, you should never run on the ground because it makes it easier for your opponent to catch you. You wanna know why and how? Well, basically, not a lot of people know about this, but now I'm revealing it. But the developers added a feature several updates ago where when your opponent that you're in combat with runs away from you, your dashing distance doubles, and it makes it impossible for them to run away on the ground. I'm happy that they added this feature, but I'm just saying that if you want to run, it's better to do it in the air and Don't be afraid to use movement skills. Last thing I want to mention before we go to the third important PvP tip, running is not very good. If you have a high bounty on pirates and you don't want to die, just go on marines to not fear losing bounty. But why is running bad? Basically, when you run, you're basically telling yourself to give up. And that is not a good thing because you need to practice a lot in order to get good at PvP. And giving up is not the way to start. It is time for the third crucial PvP strategy, Ken tricking. Before I go in detail about this, let me tell you guys the difference between Ken tricking and Ken dodging. Basically, Ken tricking is using your Ken, aka observation, while a skill is still functioning. And Ken dodging is just dodging skills with Ken. So why do I say that Ken tricking is important? It may be less major than the two other tips I mentioned earlier, but it is highly advised for you to use this strategy while you are getting comboed so that you don't die. For this to work, you always need to have the right timing and you need to be able to recognize the skills that are Ken trickable. This comes with experience in PvP. For example, Godhuman Z skill is Ken trickable. While it is going on, you need to turn on your Ken before it's too late so that you can avoid getting damaged a lot and so that your opponent will hesitate to combo extend afterwards. But if you are getting hit by Godhuman C, for example, you better not try to Ken trick that, since it will just break your observation and you will have had wasted it for the most obvious thing in the world. And this was all for Ken tricking. It maybe seem a bit complicated at first, but trust me, you get the hang of it really easily over time. So for the penultimate PvP technique, we have striking at the right moment. What do I mean by this? Basically, you will want to hit your opponent as much as you can when you see an open door. For example, it can be when your opponent misses a skill and you strike them as fast as you can because you know they are stunned for using their skill. But be cautious when doing this because your opponent could use moves like these as bait for your attack. And then they will counter, but it's kind of rare to see someone do that. I'd say that a safe skill to opportunistically strike at is Quake C skill. If you are lucky, you could land a whole one-shot combo when you find a window of opportunity to strike. And it is very fun when this happens because you don't have to deal with hitting your opponent while they are moving like maniacs. Last but not least, the final major PvP element, the ultimate one, predictions. Now predictions include many things. It can be knowing that if you do a certain thing, it will get you punished for it. For example, when you use a skill, it can get you punished. It can be predicting where your opponent is gonna go, or even being unpredictable. Firstly, about knowing that if you do a certain thing or skill, you will get punished for it, I will give you an example you probably remember. So, as mentioned in an example before, Quake C is a skill that could definitely get you punished because it not only has end lag but also end stun. Personally, I loved sniping people with string C non-awakened when they would just do Quake C or Quake X. What is an end stun though? An end stun is being stunned after doing a skill because it is that bad. So for Quake C skill, you will need to strike at the right moment so that you land it. Secondly, about predicting where your opponent is gonna go, this is pretty obvious. It is quite easy to do when you think about it though. All you have to do is look at the way your opponent is moving, and according to their moving pattern, you will be able to predict what their next move might be. It is much easier to predict an opponent when you have fought them many times. Finally, about being unpredictable, it is probably the easiest thing you can do. To do it, all you have to do is PvP normally against someone. But if you realize that they are recognizing your attack patterns, be unpredictable by completely doing the opposite of what you were doing. If you were charging at them, for example, start running away from them a bit and come back slowly. This will get them very confused. And this is all I had to say about the PvP tips overall. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Always remember that being good at PvP comes from experience. Don't feel like you're too far behind when fighting people that were playing the game for 5 years. Anyways, please like and subscribe. Bye guys. Before I go in detail about this, let me go through the difference between criminal. Finally, about being unpredictable is probably the easiest thing you can do. To do it, all you have to do is PvP normally against someone.